and welcome to Ark Training. Today's session is going to be about assignments. So we're going to go to our team, which in this case is cars, and we're going to go to assignments, which I was already on. It doesn't look like everything's been marked. There isn't anything. So let's go to create, because I'm going to create an assignment. I can't create from existing. There is nothing that's pre-existing. There we go. So we can't create from existing. So what do I want to do? I'm going to create a quiz. So let's just create a quiz. Obviously I have to create from a new form because there isn't anything available. So I'm going to click new form. That takes us to forms.office.com, and we have to obviously sign into that, which is no problem. So let me just sign in. Ark.me.uk. So I'm just signing in to okay, so here's our forms. As you can see, I don't have any forms. There aren't really a lot of group forms. There's a few in there, but not particularly. There's nothing shared with me, and these aren't going to be happy. These aren't going to be happy because I read the word happy. These aren't going to be useful for what I'm actually looking for anyway. So let's have a look. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new quiz. So we're going to create this lovely quiz. We'll call it something deep and meaningful, like cars quiz. Why not? And you can enter a description if you want. Now we're going to add a question, and as soon as we hit add new, we come up with these choices down here. So we've got choice, text, rating, date, ranking, Likert, which is obviously the Likert scale. We can upload a file, we can do net promoter and sections, but let's just keep it relatively simple. We'll go with a choice. So what we're going to do is we're going to give them some choices to do. So which is your favourite car brand? Okay, it would help if I could spell, I'm going to be honest. So let's just go with Ford, and then we're going to go with I'll tell you what, we'll go with Vauxhall, oh dear, Vauxhall, and then I'm going to add an option. We'll say BMW, and we'll say Mercedes. Obviously we can carry on and carry on and carry on, but we can obviously do whatever we want. Now at the moment we're set to have one answer. And what you do is, if we just hover over Ford for a moment, well, obviously we can delete that option, no problem at all. We can display a message to people who select that answer. So if your favourite car is a Ford, you can go, why? Actually that's very harsh on Ford. They have made some fabulous cars over the years. So we'll just say good choice. Here we go. And we can actually mark that as a correct answer. So if there is only one answer that's correct, we can actually mark that as a correct answer. We can have multiple answers. So we can actually say that Vauxhall is also the correct answer. There we go. I've ticked that as a correct answer. BMW, again, let's go with does Deutsch or Deutsch? I think that's how you spell Deutsch. Anyway, and then we've got Mercedes, which is refined and an excellent choice. Okay, I'm going to mark them all as correct answers. We do have some other bits and pieces down at the bottom. We can assign a point rating to our questions. We don't need to. If we assign a point rating when our students have actually finished, it will automatically add up some points and stuff. And that's not right, is it? That's not how you spell Deutsch, but I can't remember off the top of my head, sorry. So we can have multiple answers. We can make it a required question as well, so they have to answer it. They can't go any further until they've answered it. And then we've got some other sort of things down here. We've got shuffle options, so every time a student sees it will shuffle up the options. We've got maths, and again, if you've seen my class notebook, there you go, the maths thing will immediately pop into your heads, probably with some element of laughter. We can add a subtitle to it. We can actually add branching. We're going to come back to branching at the end, okay? So don't worry about that. I see. I can't leave it. I can't leave it. This is ridiculous. Translate English to German. That'll do, because then I'm going to do that. English to German. So we want the German car. It says. See, I told you it was wrong. I just couldn't get it in my head what I'd actually done wrong. There we go. So the German car. I appreciate that Mercedes is German as well. It's just that, you know. So we're going to add a different question now, and this time we're going to add a text question. And a text question is generally a short answer question. So let's just go with. Oh dear Lord. So do you like cars? Why not? So do you like cars? The correct answer, so we can add an answer here. So we can say yes is the correct answer. It doesn't matter if I put it in uppercase or lowercase. Obviously Microsoft works that out for me. So yes is the correct answer. I can actually add other answers, and we can even make it a long answer, so it's a long free-flowing answer that we have to then read and mark. But let's just go with yes. I'm not going to say that it's required, and again we've got the same options down here: subtitle, restrictions, maths, and add branching. I'm going to go for a rating. So we're going to say, how much do you rate Ford? Why not? We have a rating out of 5 at the moment. We can actually go from 2 to 10. So 2 is yes, no, basically, isn't it? Up to 10. I like 5. 5 is a very nice, easy way of doing it, because you've got absolutely love it. What a wonderful car. Yeah, they're okay. I quite like them. Yeah, it's okay. Not bothered either way. If you know. No, they're not really my favourite, but I guess I could drive one if I really have to. Oh my good Lord, I'm not getting in one of those. So 5 actually works pretty well. We've got stars as our symbol at the moment, but we could, if we wanted to, we can change that to numbers to give it a number scale. I generally tend to find that people are more engaged with the star rating. I think it just gives that extra element of a bit of fun, maybe, I don't know. And again, we've got subtitle, label, add branching. We're not actually doing any of those at the moment. So how much do you rate Ford? So we can actually do another rating. So let's just go, how much do you rate Vauxhall? And how much do you rate BMWs? And let's do one more rating of how much do you rate Mercedes? I should point out that I've had at least one model from all of these manufacturers, and I know which one is my favourite, but that's beside the point. Right, so we've got some rating questions there, and I'm going to come to which ones we're going to do properly later. So we've got a choice, we've got a text, and we've got a rating question. Brilliant. So what we're also going to do is we're going to add a ranking question. So put these cars in order of price. Here we go. Yeah, order of price. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put these in the correct order. Okay, so let's just say you wanted a Ferrari. That's going to be quite expensive. So Ferrari is going to be our expensive car, and then we're going to go with a Mercedes. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Oh, see, now I'm going to have to do Porsche, aren't I? Porsche and then Mercedes. And then let's go with Ford, and then right at the bottom we'll go with something bizarre like the Thatcher range. There you go. So these are, I've put these in the price sort of order that they would be in, and then what happens is when the students do the quiz, they actually appear in a random order and they have to figure out which way's which. Again, we can add points, we can add it as a required question, and we've got subtitle and branching. Okay, so what's this branching that I keep skipping over immediately? Well, let's go all the way back up here. Right, first off, oh no, I've put the wrong question as 2. I actually wanted that question first and that question second. Well, if I click on that question, I can simply move my question up, so it is now my first question. Okay, so that's number 1. Second, obviously, we've got which is our favourite car brand. That's brilliant, we're not bothered. But what we do want to do is we're going to add some branching. And this is where we can have a little bit of fun, okay? So, what we're saying is, if you answer in a particular way, you go to a particular vehicle. So, this is so, how much do you rate Ford? Why not? So what you can actually have is, instead of this question, which I've made stupidly bad, because they're all the correct answer. Damn, I've deleted one. I deleted Vauxhall. I'm really sorry. If you're a Vauxhall owner, I might have inadvertently just deleted Vauxhall. So let's just add Vauxhall in there again. Vauxhall. Here we go. Right. So, if we go back to branching, sorry about that, Vauxhall. Let's go back to branching. So, if they answer, actually, it's still not going to work. What we can do is, how much do you rate Ford? And then we can add branching on here and say, okay, so we're going to go to which is your favourite car brand. So if they actually rate Ford, then you know we can send them over there. On the Vauxhall question, how much do you rate BMW? Why not? We can kind of send people wherever we like. If you after doing the BMW one, they just finish, a Mercedes. Right, I can't help this. There's a Vauxhall. We're going to go back to do you like cars? So we can actually, depending on how the students answer, how we phrase our questions, we can actually skip questions, we can send them down a different path. So imagine this as like branching out from a tree. Our students are answering their questions, going up the tree, and we can send them down different branches so they get different questions depending on what question it is that they've just asked. When we finish with all of our branching, I've got to be honest, this is just a random kind of branching sort of exercise. We can click back, which will take us back to our form in the first place, and then if we want to, we can add a theme. So we can come up with some theme ideas. These are lovely. So let's come up with, let's just put in, I don't know. Wow, that one will do. I'm not bothered. So we're going to come up with our theme. We can obviously share by putting in. We can send it directly from an email and stuff like that. We can share it as a template. We can collaborate on stuff, and there's other sort of sharey bits in there, but we're not going to do any of that. So we've got our form. Okay, so we've got do you like cars? What's your favourite car brand? How much do you rate Ford, Vauxhall, BMW, Mercedes, and put these cars in order of price. So we have a nice form and it's called Cars Quiz. So I'm just going to hit Forms again, and there is our Cars Quiz. That's brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to minimize that. We're going to go back to here, to our assignments page within Teams. So now I'm going to create a quiz. I know what you're thinking. We've been here before, and you're right. Now, on the other hand, I can choose my car quiz. So there we go. So here's my car quiz. And let's just say enter instructions, do this quiz. There we go. So there's our cars quiz. And we're going to assign it to our cars team, which is fine. We can pick all students, or what we could do is, let's just say for the sake of example, we just want pupil 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we've got pupil 1, 2, 3 and 4. By default, this will always be due midnight of the following day. We'll just leave that there for the time being. Now I can discard this, which will completely, delete it. I can save it, which should then appear as a draft. So let me just save that and I'll show you what that looks like. So we actually now have a draft. Here's my draft. Or I can assign it. And I'm just going to assign that for the time being. Okay. So we've actually assigned a car quiz. Here we go. But student 5 didn't get that. So I'm going to create from existing this time, because this is now an existing assignment. So I'm going to create from existing. And it hasn't picked that up. Brilliant. So I'm going to create a quiz. It's fine. Only this time we're going to go with Ark Pupil 5, and I'm going to change the day that is due in. Ark Pupil 5's been ill and has got some catching up to do, so I'm actually going to give him till Thursday to actually complete this. So we've got Ark Pupil 5. It's still cars. Do it. So we've got exactly the same. And now I'm just going to push assign. So now we have 2. So we've got one that's due tomorrow, one that's due on the 4th of June. And that's fine. If we look at grades for a moment, there should be nothing because nobody's completed this quiz yet. But the great thing is we now get to see, so cars quiz, the actual first cars quiz that I did is only for those 4 students. This one that I've done is only for pupil 5. And we can actually, if we click on the more options, we can actually return it. So if somebody's done something, we can actually return it, but don't do it with a quiz because the return doesn't really work particularly well. So we have 2 assignments. They're both called car quiz, but what you can just click in there and you can edit the assignment. So if you wanted to, we could call that cars quiz pupil 5. There we go. And let's just click update. And if we go back, we now have cars quiz pupil 5. There we go. Oh, still nothing. Eventually, once people have actually completed assignments and quizzes, they will turn up in create from existing. So I'm now going to create an assignment. Assignments are slightly different. We don't actually have to go to Microsoft Forms for it. I mean, we can actually do stuff in Microsoft Forms for it, but we don't have to. So let's just say, okay, what is your... Let's just call this actually assignment. Ooh, that didn't work. Assignment 1. Instructions. Do this before Friday. Why not? There we go. Do this before Friday, and we can add resources. So this is a proper assignment. So let's just say we're going to give them something to read, something to review, something that they need to kind of look at or inwardly digest or whatever. Let's go with there we go. We'll go with behaviorism PowerPoint. Which is actually on, it's a PowerPoint on the behaviourist learning model and theory. Don't ask. I'm going to click done. So I've added that PowerPoint in there. They can't edit it, they can only view it unless we can, we can get it so they can edit their own copy if they want to, or if we want them to. We can add as many resources as we like. So I'll put on that PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to upload from my device an image. That'll do. So they've now got a PowerPoint presentation to look at and an image to refer to, and then we could also add a Word document. That'll do. So we've given them the materials to read, and the Word document is for them to obviously fill in the gaps, write up whatever that is that they want to do. Put in exactly how many points that this is worth if you want to. Again, you don't have to. We can add a rubric. Now, a rubric is a marking criteria, if you will. Obviously, the lower down in schools that we go, we don't normally use rubrics particularly, but obviously by the time we get higher up in our education, we generally tend to use rubrics. So let's just have, there you go, the 18th of May, that one will do. Or we can create a new rubric. So we'll create a new rubric called Now. We can put in a description if we want. Help. Here we go, and it's our marking criteria. So if we wanted to make sure that our students were aiming for things like, isn't it funny? As soon as you sit down at a keyboard, everything flows out of your mind immediately, straight away, just goes. Right, so use of punctuation. Here we go. I don't know why, but we're going to go. We're not doing spelling, but we are doing punctuation. So use of punctuation. Yeah, that's right. So excellent is perfect use. Good, bad, poor use would be sort of no punctuation, evident, that sort of thing. So if you're giving your students somewhere to aim at, like I said, this is normally more towards, this is the older that students get. We generally tend to give them a rubric. Obviously, if you've done a university course of any description, you know what a rubric is, but they probably call it a marking criteria or criterion reference grid and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to click attach. So I've now got my rubric is nicely there. I'm going to assign it to CARS all students, and again that's the due date and the time. There are some settings down here so we can edit what goes where. So we're actually posting it in the general channel, which we kind of want to do. So when students obviously open up their teams, they'll see in the general channel that they've got an assignment. They'll also get an activity notification to say that you've got an assignment, and they'll also get it in their assignments tab as well. So let's just hit assign on that. Okay, so we've got assignment 1, which is due tomorrow, CARS quiz, which is due tomorrow, and CARS quiz just for pupil 5. So, and there we go, there's assignments mentioned in CARS general. So if I just click on activity, it will take me to, there we go, there's my assignment 1, and I can view my assignment from there. And this is obviously how students see it, this is how we see it. Well, sorry, this isn't how students see it, this is how we see it. Students just get their own. Okay, they can only ever see their own stuff. And again, if we go to, there is a nice button that says Student View. So Student View, that's our rubric. So if we've given them a rubric, there's our instructions, there's our resources and our reference materials. And if we actually click on one, it will actually open it up within that browser. I appreciate that this is CARS and that's a motorbike, but it's an image that I just had on my laptop, so tough. It is a Honda though, who do make cars. And there's a BMW in the background, and they definitely make cars. Harley don't, which is probably good because they'd be expensive, overpriced, make lots of noise and go nowhere fast. By the way, if you're watching this and you have a Harley Davidson, they're wonderful machines and I'm just jealous. If you're watching this and you don't like Harley Davidsons, I'm not jealous at all. So that's from the student point of view, and we can obviously edit our assignment. We can go back. So, and again, if we go to grades, here we are with grades. Here's our CARS quiz for pupil 5. here's our cars quiz, and here's our assignment 1, and it's only highlights up here for our students that have actually done it. So let's just for a minute, I'm going to open an incognito window, and I'm going to go to teams.microsoft.com, and I'm actually going to log in as pupil 1. That'll do. We'll go with pupil 1. No, don't stay signed in. Okay, so when this window opens up, okay, so at the moment pupil 1 is only involved in cars, and like I said, we've got little red dots of activity anywhere. I don't need the app, and I don't want you to tell me stuff. So let's just click on activity. This is all the activity for student 1. Excuse me, so I've added them to cars. There's a quiz that's due on June the 2nd, and I've obviously just put that assignment in as well. They can also have a look on assignments. Like I said, it comes up with a notification there. Obviously, if they're involved in more than one team, so if we've got more than one class, all the classes that they have are down there. So let's just click cars and next, and here's my cars quiz. So let's do a cars quiz. So, do I like cars? Yes. Okay. What's my favourite car brand? I'm going to have to say Mercedes, because at the moment I have a Mercedes. So I have had a couple of Fords, BMWs, and I've had a couple of Vauxhalls, but at the moment I have a Mercedes, so that's my favourite car. How much do I rate Ford? Yeah. And then I can push submit. I can if I want to, obviously, because we can look. We didn't mark an assignment or anything. We didn't set any points to it, so we can actually go back to our page and just keep going backwards and forwards until we push close. So we've actually now, there's our nice little achievement. So every time one of our students completes an assignment or a quiz, we get a different animation over here. That was the jellyfish, just sort of, floating around. There's like a rocket and all sorts of different things. So we've got that cars quiz is now done. So that's perfect. And then obviously we've got assignment 1. We can click on assignment 1 if I want, and we can add work. And let's just say for the sake of example, they've finished their work. That's all great. It's wonderful. It's amazing. And let's upload something deep and meaningful. Let's upload a reference handbook. Why not? Done. Here we go. So that's my work. I'm going to hand that in. There's the rocket, and away it goes. So I've now not got any assigned, but I do have completed cars quiz and assignment 1. I've got some dots there that says the chat. I've got obviously my cars quiz, so I can view my assignments, but obviously I can't because I've already done them. So I'm now all caught up as pupil 1. So now I'm going to go to pupil 2. I don't know why I didn't just sign out of that one before coming over here. I really don't know. Some days I'm up for crying out loud. Sorry, I do apologise. I got very click happy then. So we're going to sign in as pupil 5. Actually, we're going to sign in as Ark pupil 5. Ark pupil 5. Here we go. And next. So Ark pupil 5 obviously had a different assignment, a different quiz. He had obviously Ark pupil 5's quiz. So let's have a look. We're going to log on as 5. He'll get the same sort of notifications. So let's just go to assignments and do his. So we're going to have a quick look at his quiz, or her quiz, their quiz. So do I like cars? Yes, I definitely do. My favourite car brand, I can't remember which one I took. Let's go with Vauxhall. Then it says how much do I rate Ford. Actually, I'm going to tick them all. So the branching is not working quite as I really should have planned that a bit better. But what we can do is we can edit that and change it if we want to. If I just go back to our teacher point of view, and I'm just going to hit the reload tab, which is over there, we now have some people that have completed some stuff. So we've got handed in, and handed in. So here's our cars quiz, handed in and handed in. So we can actually review. This is going to be fun. Open student work. Okay, so yeah, here we go. That's what they answered. And again, Ark pupil 1, because they're the only one that have submitted that. If 2, 3 and 4 had submitted that, we can drop down this box or use the left and right arrows to navigate through. But obviously we only actually set that for 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I logged in as 1 and 5. And there's their work that they've handed in, and again we can open student work. And here's a handbook for some reference. It's a reference guide basically. What we can do is we can enter our feedback, like let's just say no, and you can return it. So that will actually now go back to student 1, and you can see there it says returned. So that's a very quick kind of well, it's not quick, it's a relatively in-depth sort of jaunt through assignments and grades. This is going to be, I think, one of those videos that you're going to keep watching every now and again, just to sort of pick up a few bits and pieces. There are, of course, some materials on education.microsoft.com, although they're not particularly specific in many ways. But that is basically our assignments and grades. So I hope you found this video particularly useful. Yeah, that's a bit of an inception moment there. And I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you hopefully on the next one. Bye.